Hey, there's always a delay on the camera here. Hey, it's Christi Karate with Christie's Clarity. And guess what? I am going to move this picture so that I don't see the delay in it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Christie's Clarity. Friday, a great way to end your week and to start your weekend. And today I'm going to talk about what is toxic and what can you do about it. Now, one of the wonderful things about doing this work is that, um, you know, the guidance that I get, the divine guidance that I get, right? And so I had a chat with one of my girlfriends this morning, and I asked her if I could share her story today because it's so perfect for Christie's Clarity. And what it is that that I should be able. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, there we go. This is the better way to do it. Okay, is that there's things going on in her life that she's like, what can I change? How can I do this differently? And she's been my friend, and we've do our work together for a long time, and I said, can I use your story today for my call, Christie's Clarity, because it's so perfect? And she said yes. And she couldn't be on the call. She had another appointment, but she's going to watch the replay so that she can see. And we talked about this, and it's exactly what I wanted to share with people. So what is toxic? Most people think that it's other people, how we interact or react with other people, or that it's events, things that happen, especially those events that we have no control over, or the environment. That's one of the things we feel we don't have control over, or that we is bigger than us, and just a lot of things we feel out of control in. And these are all things that cause toxicness in our lives, causes toxicity. Now, what happens, I'm going to talk first, what happens when you let these things get in you and bug you? Most of you probably already know. One of the main results of it that a lot of people see is ulcers, or some kind of effect on their health, right? Well, that's it all. And then other times things happen in our health or in our lives, and we don't associate them with the things that we've let in that are toxic. So we know the things we think are toxic, but what is it really? Many of you know here because you've been on Christie's Clarity or done work with me or are in the same way of thinking as me. And you probably already know, but I will tell you, we forget probably 90% of the time. It's our thinking. That's what's toxic. Like, how can we think differently in the midst of, say, crisis? So, using my friend as an example, so she's got a lot of decisions to make in life. There's possible changes going on with her living situation. One roommate's moving out, and she's like, unless I get a roommate, I can't really afford to do this. And then my landlord may want the house back. And then what would I do? And where would I go? And that is, and all kinds of things, chatter about all these things. So she does one of the things that's really great. I'm going to give you some concrete physical things to do about it. And then I'm going to share something with you on, some hip pocket guide to eliminating toxicity in your life. So some of the concrete ones are exactly what she did. So bravo on her. One of the things is to write a list. Write out the things that are there and that are bothering you. Because one of the things that happens with us is that we do a replay. Because it's, our mind doesn't want to lose it because it needs to solve it and resolve it, right? And so if you write a list and you do it in a way that you can come back and look at it, and many people know to do that, right? The other thing that she's doing that I did last week as well is you take a break. You find a way to step back from it. Okay, and that doesn't mean step back and look at it. How can you take a break from the toxicity in your life? So she's taking a week off and going up to Oregon to play with her sister and her friends and do sister kind of things and just really have a basically a fun time. And is she going to dwell on it? No, she's going to let it simmer, right? And she's not going to like come up with the answer while she's there. She's going to let it simmer. And then when she gets back, she can look at her list again. It's been written down, it's been put out of the way, and she's gone. And of course, that's also good for the body and good for the mind and healing of things. And the other thing that I really recommend is to set a time to worry. Okay, somebody said to me on the phone that, I could worry about it, but that's not very valuable. Well, actually, we'll change worry to contemplate or, put our attention on it, but schedule a time to do that. Even put it in your calendar, have an alarm go off and say, for the next hour, I'm going to sit, and I really like to do it in a meditative state and get downloads, but also just to either do some automatic writing or, as you all know from me, do my drawings, right? So I get lots of answers from doing my drawings, the same kind of drawings that I do for other people to help them get their answers. So these are a couple of the tangible tools that you can use to deal with toxicity. Now, what does toxic come from? Our toxicity, our thinking. And so I also love to help people with what I call hip pocket guides. And today, here is a list of helpful hints to live by. And I'm going to talk about these and how you can use this. And why I call it hip pocket, it's like print this off. We're going to put this in the, however we put a link in this. My assistant will help me with this. Beautiful Nava, who is on the call as well. And you can print it out and put it in your purse or in your back pocket or something. And whenever you find yourself feeling stressed or struggle, right? Remember, if you've been with me for a while, you know that struggle is only when we are living in separation from our truth. Okay, and so here are some mental and spiritual tools to use to help you deal with the toxic elements of within your life that are getting inside of you. So first of all, it's like, don't let them get inside of you. And here's how you do that. One is the idea of saying, so you pull this guide out and you look and choose one of these to remedy your thinking at that time. So the first one is, I am for something and against nothing. Now, the good news is you don't have to be for the thing that is bothering you or irritating you or causing you struggle or pain or problems. You can find something else to be for. I try to get you to think, how can I be for that thing? But if you can't, choose something like, I am for almost being married 33 years, or being married for almost 33 years. And so I can go, oh, well, I'm for that, but I'm against the struggle of XYZ. You actually don't want to be against it. You want to replace it so that you don't create anything that you're against. So go to that higher vibrational thinking. And how can I be for something and against nothing? Now, I really like to apply it to the situation. And one of the ways that I do that when I'm dealing with, say, toxic people, toxic events, or, politics is a big one that I use this for. I go to, how can I be for something? And I go to Namaste. Namaste is the divine in me recognizes the divine in you, not all of the junk, not all of the stuff. So we'll take environment, right? So I can be for our environment. It really treats us well. I can also be for taking action of helping our planet, right? And so all of those things are for something, not oh, somebody's polluting the air, somebody's doing that. Anything that's outside of ourselves, we have no control over. What we have control over and what we can make the biggest difference doing is ourselves, is our thinking that's within ourselves, right? Okay, so the second one, which is actually the number one primary thing that I work with people in first, is learning to strengthen their thinking consciousness, right? So notice what I am noticing right now. And I have a couple of tools on that. I think I did a talk about that on Christi's Clarity a while back. So notice, stop, pause, and think of your thinking. You have to bring it to the conscious surface. These thoughts are running us all the time. The subconscious is going all around us all the time. And the next is, I choose love. We can always find a way to be coming from love. You're in a fight with, say, your spouse or something like this. You go, I choose love. I choose to act from love. I choose to think from love. And that changes our vibrational frequency, of course, and it is a remedy or a hip pocket hint to helping change situations. Now, a lot of people say, well, it doesn't really affect the world out there. That's only changing me. But guess what? That's not true. You may have heard of the butterfly effect. And it was some kind of scientific thing. I actually looked it up one time, and there was an awareness of some kind of experiment or something where they figured out that, like, a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can change the weather patterns in the European continent. So when you choose love in every situation and any situation, you actually change the world, because you are putting that into the world. Okay, and the next one is, I choose power with someone, not power over. And a really great way to do that, especially when you're in a negotiation or a conflict or something, is imagine, or actually do, get on the same side of the table and look at the situation together. And in your mind, you can do that. Oh, if I'm not trying to get something from somebody, I'm with them. How can I be with them? My work is very much like that, because I'm here to be in service. I'm here to really help transform people's lives. I'm not here to get something from them. I'm not here to have power over them. I'm here to stand side by side and walk with them into empowerment, right? And then the next one is, this is what it looks like while it's all coming together. Okay, so this is great one. I got this one from my mentor, Mary Morrissey. And what happens is, when you are like in stuff is up and you don't like it, but you are working on your conscious thinking, then you can say, oh, this is what it looks like while it's all coming together. Okay, and now I can take steps to make it more like what I would love. Okay, and this is a great one, right? Look within first. Remember that whole idea of pointing, and it's like you're pointing at somebody, that there's 3 fingers pointing right back at you. Look within first before you make an action, a decision, or you let your thinking get away with you. It's like, oh, and that's very similar to notice what you're noticing, or noticing your thoughts, right? So then there is what I pay attention to becomes my intention. It also becomes your reality. So you want to remind yourself of that. So if you're like going, and I have aches and pains. I deal with this all the time, right? And it's like, oh, I have aches and pains. How can you not create more of that? It's like, okay, so one of the things is you make those thoughts neutral. You do have to pay attention to them. Pay attention to them in a neutral way, and then say, now that I know that I'm having pain, what is a positive step forward that I can do about it? Oh, a lot of times for me, it's like go out for a walk, or get up and stand up outside of sitting in my chair all the time, or la 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 la. But it's about paying attention to your thoughts again. This is a fabulous one. I love this one. I got it from one of my first teachers in this work, probably 35 years ago. And I was training to be a spiritual practitioner. And it was, the question was up as about, what if I'm telling a story, or what if I'm doing this out in the world? And she said, question your motives. Question your motive for saying that, doing that. What is your motive? Is it meant to be harmful? Is it meant to be covert? Or is it meant to be really for something and against nothing, right? So really question, what is your motive in any of your actions, and especially when you're up against those toxic thoughts, right? And then always gratitude. Always go to gratitude. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my breath. Why? Because my breath breathes me. My breath gives me aliveness. I am alive because of my breath. Look at how, when I started saying that, how the energy in me and also in you started, elevating. And, I can go on more and more about this, but I want to kind of wrap this up, right? And the other one is to believe that the universe is friendly, that it is for you, that it's got your back. All of these laws, the universal laws, the physical laws, all of these are for you to experience your greater good. And it's only our thoughts that we put into the thinker, out into the world, that causes us to have any struggle, because everything, all of the universal laws are lined up for our greater expansion. I have a picture on my a mural on my ceiling here of the universe. It is an expansive universe. It is about creativity in the world. So this is Christi's Clarity. This is going to go in the chat or the link or the something where you can actually go and download this little hip pocket guide and have that to help you with toxicity in your life. Okay. And remember, this month was about our greater health. And if you work on this, believe me, it will not only keep you from getting ill, but it'll take away the physical challenges as you go along. I do have more to say about this, but I think we've run out of time here. This is Christi at Christi's Clarity. Find use in these tools today. Okay? Take care. Oh, I should stop the share and I should say, this is Christi on Christi's Clarity, and it's great to have you join me.